Hey, love. Just out getting my morning sunshine and just reflecting on it's already November, and I'm just thinking of all the things that happen in November. And I'm actually getting some invitations in, and I'm super excited about it. However, I'm just reminding myself, I have to set boundaries for that. Just because I get an invitation doesn't mean that I have to accept the invitation. And that's just an example of setting boundaries for yourself. If you're in a situation where many caregivers are, sometimes we don't get a lot of invitations because of the caregiving struggle, and many times we can't make it, or we have to modify our schedule so that maybe one of us can make it and the other one can't. So sometimes it gets real complicated, and I think for some people it's just easier not to invite caregivers. Sometimes that creates some type of emotional response as well. But one thing that I was thinking about, because it seems like over the typical holidays that come up, that there's a lot of sadness sometimes, and a lot of grief, and a lot of family dysfunction that sometimes can occur around meeting with family members around the holidays. And that's kind of something that I wanted to just kind of jump ahead of that. We know that these things are coming, and I'm not encouraging you to think or overthink it and to be anxious, because we shouldn't be anxious for anything. So setting clear boundaries and establishing what it is that you want and you need, and how you can maintain your peace. Sometimes there are some situations I don't feel comfortable being in, because I perceive that it's going to be not for my well-being to remain in peace. So sometimes we know those things are coming, and there are ways to deal with those and to get ahead of some of those situations before you find yourself in a situation or in a big disagreement or argument or what have you. So I wanted to talk with you today about bitterness. And the fruit of bitterness sometimes comes across as you having a short fuse. Just really, really, and as caregivers, that may also just be common because we're just overworked and overperforming. But just having that short fuse, as well as being sharp tongue, that could be other reasons as well. A tired soul without rest can look real crazy sometimes. And just being aware of who you are and what you're experiencing. Sometimes those short fuses can trigger other people to have a short fuse. Sometimes when you're in a situation and you come across one way, there are some people that will mirror that back to you, right? Even though you haven't said anything, they pick up on that. So just be aware of those kinds of things that may be going on when we have our gatherings and celebrations and family celebrations. And there are ways that we can handle that, right? There are things that we can do. There are proven tools and techniques that we can utilize to help each other as far as maintaining good boundaries and maintaining your peace around gatherings and celebrations that are sure to come in the upcoming month. This is already November, and so we're anticipating those things. And I'd like to share some techniques with you, some tools that may be helpful for you. And I already talked about one, just setting clear boundaries. If you are going to be in situations where you know that certain family members, I'm not encouraging you to avoid the family members, but set some boundaries around. For example, if someone you know that they smoke cigarettes or something, and you just don't want to go to the family gathering because of the cigarette smoke, then you just set some boundaries for yourself to maintain your peace and not be in that particular room very long with people who are, we're just saying, smoking cigarettes. You know, you can put anything else in there. There's some people that trigger us emotionally, and we need to be aware of our own emotional triggers. And if that's something that if this is like news to you, you don't know what emotional triggers are, then put a comment in the comment section and let me know, because I'd love to be able to share more on topics that are interesting or that you find interesting, okay, or that you find to be helpful. Because there are so many things that can trigger us and can trigger other people, including anxiety, being anxious and not really understanding why you're worked up. And so many times in family gatherings, that almost seems like it's being transferred around the room. One person gets nervous and the other person picks up on you're acting funny and they don't know what's going on, and it may come across as, oh, you think you're better than, you know, blah, 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 and it just kind of goes on and escalates, and then there's family drama and nobody has a clue why. And then we stay away from the people that really our family is our connection. And I understand that there are family members that just don't get along, and there are situations that, it's been going on for a long time. So what do we do and how do we do it? I'm not here to give you that type of solution, but sis, what I am trying to do is to help you not be alone for the holidays, and just breaking up, if you will, with bitterness and holding things that we don't need to hold. There are some things that we hold that just destroys us, and it destroys our peace. And being bitter and angry and holding things, I come from a family, and I'm very well aware that everybody has different family dynamics, but I'm always amazed when I ran into so many women over the years, and we have the same family, and I laugh and say we must be related, because we have those same family dynamics, and it does not matter the age of the woman, the culture. There are a lot of things that are just common. And so one thing I want to encourage us all to do is to think about those things that we're holding. Like I was getting ready to say, in my family, it's a tradition, it seems like, and I hope that we're breaking that, feeding you from the long handle spoon. When you do something that they don't like, they feed you from a long handle spoon. Leave me a comment if you've ever heard that. Okay? So what that means is that, okay, you've done something to offend me, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stay away from you, right? And what I'm encouraging everybody to do is to examine those things. Many times you fed people from a long handle spoon and you've pushed them away for so many years, you may not even remember what the offense was. And here it is, year after year, we're feeding people with this proverbial long handle spoon, and you're just creating distance, and there is no peace. Somebody has to be the peacemaker, And so if that's something that's common to you, you holding a root of bitterness, you're holding grudges, you're holding things inside, I'm not saying anything except let's deal with that, right? Because holding a grudge against me or anybody else, it doesn't do anything to the person that you're holding the grudge against, sis. It hurts you. That's one of the reasons of chronic, or the doctor says essential hypertension. Essential meaning they don't know why. They don't know what is making your blood pressure high, and that's what they say. But many times we're holding the answer and the key. And of course, I'm not a medical doctor, and I'm not trying to give medical advice. These are my lived experiences. I would take medication for blood pressure was still up. take medication for, or take the massages, take the bubble baths, and have the candles lit. I did all that. Blood pressure still sky high. Until I started dealing with the root issues, sis. Okay, why? Why am I anxious? Why am I nervous? Why do I don't want to go certain places? Why am I avoiding certain people? Yeah, why? And some of those things, you just have to confront them. And many times it's not about somebody forgiving. I didn't have to forgive. They didn't have to ask me for their forgiveness. That's what I'm trying to say. Sis, we have to learn how to forgive others, even if they will never, some people will never, their pride will never let them come and tell you that they were wrong, that they hurt you, and they know that they hurt you. They may never do that. And what I'm saying is that, sis, even if they never do that, even if they do it, or if they don't do it, you can still forgive them. And that destroys that root of bitterness. But if you hold on to it, and you hold on to it for years and years and years, it will destroy you inside as well as out. And the medical community is just tuning into that, knowing that a lot of stress is caused by the things that we're holding on the inside. So I just want to encourage everybody to examine yourselves. And if you find anything that resembles bitterness, to let it go. Not so easy though. I know that too. It is not easy. It's easy to say it, but is it easy to do it? Because the longer you've held on to it, the more, what's the word? It becomes almost a part of you, but it really is not. And so we have to learn how to forgive and how to move forward every single day. Whether these are your family relationships, many times around the holidays, you know, we find ourselves in situations, you know, with family members, and it brings up all kinds of issues. Some of us have gone through relationship betrayals where people have done things or separated, divorced, those kinds of things. All those issues may conjure up a root of bitterness. Sometimes people may see you with your spouse laughing and joking and having a great time, and they may be experiencing some feelings, some emotions around their spouse or not being with their spouse. So sometimes we have to understand that there's some transference that may be occurring. And some of these issues are not our issues, it's their issues. And so we have to just be mindful of that and to maintain our peace. That's the bottom line. We need to maintain our peace. So somebody else's issue doesn't have to become my issue, right? And if I've done something to hurt and offend someone, I need to also, you know, be woman enough and not allow pride to make me feel like I can't apologize. And there's so many ways to sincerely apologize for things that we know that we've done. But sometimes, you know, people may be, again, feeding you from that proverbial long-handled spoon. They may have blocked you, and then you may feel like, well, there's nothing I can do about it. Not so. There's everything you can do about it. Everything you can do about it. You can still forgive them. That doesn't mean you agree with what they did. It doesn't mean that you co-sign on that. It just means that, hey, it is what it is. It happened. You can say I was wrong, or you can say they was wrong. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to hold grudges. I'm not going to feed them from the long-handled spoon. If they don't want to talk to me, okay, I'm still going to smile. I'm still going to show up. I'm still going to be happy. And what I have found over the years is that sometimes you or me taking that first step sometimes is what's needed. Like I started off by saying, there are some people, they are just so prideful, they will never say they're sorry. They will never admit that they were wrong. But that doesn't stop me. I still forgive them. And it is my tradition that I'm going to love them in spite of, okay? And I'm going to be okay if I am the one that, I lost my temper or something triggered me, then I'm going to deal with that as well, as best as I can. And so I want you to give yourself permission, give yourself grace to do the same thing, But don't allow yourself to be by yourself for the holidays. If you celebrate holidays, just don't allow yourself to live a life that you're not happy and satisfied with, because that is not right and it's not fair for you, sis. We work too hard and we've come too far, and you deserve to be happy. And I'm speaking, this is self-care. This is self-care 101, if you will, is learning how to forgive and learning how to love the unlovable. It's not a big deal to love something or someone that everybody loves. That's not a big deal to do that. Oh, but it's a big deal to love the unlovable. And sometimes you can love the unlovable in words and then in person, right? So there are situations that come up and we just have to, there's not a cookie cutter solution for a lot of things. We have to just learn these tools and techniques. And these are some of the things that we do in our community. And so if you feel like something that I've said today resonates with you, but you need some extra help, then drop a line in the comment box, and there'll be some kind of way for you to get in touch with us so you can book a one-on-one so we can explore some options and some opportunities and some more training for you. So none of us have it all together. Let me just say that. Okay? And if somebody presents themselves as if they have it all together, let me tell you a secret. They don't. We are all a work in progress. And those of us who know that we are a work in progress, that, my girl, that is self-care. It is not about a bubble bath. It is not about a massage. It is not about getting a pedicure or getting your hair done. It's about working on you and having peace in your heart and peace in your life in spite of the chaos that is all around us. And the chaos is never probably gonna go away. So we just have to learn how to deal with that bitterness, and we have to deal with it in a way that brings us joy and brings us peace. And you got it straight from the horse's mouth, as they say. This is Angie, the Queen of Self-Care, and I want you to continue to live your life loud and proud of whoever you are and who you are becoming. Okay? So thank you so much for listening. And if I've said something that has helped you, then let me know in the comments, right? We all need encouragement, and we all need to know. I have a heart to help people, especially women caregivers, especially women entrepreneurs, solo entrepreneurs, because some of us are some of the most loving and caring individuals, but we have just been so tired and so depleted, if you will. And some of us are, caring for loved ones. You may not even be able to leave your home, because that was my story at one time. I couldn't even leave to come down to a place like where I'm at today, because I was in the midst of caring for other people. And I put other people, their priorities was my priority. And so over the years, if you have heard my story, I've learned how to prioritize my health. And I've learned how to live loud and proud. I've learned how to forgive myself. Okay? Forgive myself for things that I did, things that I continue to do. And I strive to be a better individual. And sometimes it comes out a little raggedy, y'all. But that's all right. I'm still here and you're still here. And I want you to continue on your journey of living loud and proud. And that's what we're here for, to help you to do that. So again, please like and subscribe to our channel, and you will be the first to get new content like this, especially around these holidays. So thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. Love you, sis.